If you've been in cybersecurity or IT for 2, 3, 4 years, and it feels like you're doing the work, but not actually going anywhere, this video is for you. I want to show you something that took me a long time to figure out. It's not your certifications holding you back. It is not that you need more experience, and it is definitely not that you picked the wrong field. You're stuck because you're solving the wrong problem. Stick with me for 10 minutes and I will show you exactly what I mean. My name is Seth and I'm an information security analyst. I've been doing risk assessments, policy work, and security reporting for a while now. And I got to the point where I was doing genuinely good work, getting decent feedback from managers, and keeping up with certs. But I still felt completely stuck. Nothing was moving, no promotions, no calls from recruiters for the roles I actually wanted. No meaningful recognition from leadership. I started looking around at people who were advancing, people moving into GRC leadership, advisory roles, governance positions, and I noticed something. It wasn't that they were dramatically smarter than me. It wasn't that they had more certs. It wasn't even the fact that they had been in the field longer. They were operating at a different level, and I didn't have a name for that yet. So I spent a lot of time figuring out what that level actually was. And once I understood it, everything changed about how I thought about my career. This is what I wanted to share with you today. Here is a framework that made everything click for me. I call it the 3-level career map. Most cybersecurity professionals and most IT professionals trying to move into cyber are operating at level 1 without realizing it. This is where most people live. Level 1 means you identify problems, you fix problems, you document what you did. Your value is measured by what you can do, what tools you can use, what frameworks you know, what findings you can generate. Level 1 professionals are extremely capable. The work is real and important, but level 1 professionals are invisible to leadership, not because they're bad at their job, but because their job and leadership's concerns are completely different languages. Leadership does not speak technical. They speak risk. And level 1 professionals, no matter how good they are not translating. Level 2 is where the correct inflection happens. Level 2 professionals still do technical work, but they have learned to frame it in terms of business impact, likelihood, and consequence. They present findings in terms of what they mean for the organization, not just what the vulnerability is. Level 2 professionals start getting invited to meetings they weren't before. They get asked for input on decisions. Their recommendations get acted on instead of filed. The difference between level 1 and level 2 is almost entirely communication and framing, not technical skills. Level 3 is GRC leadership, risk officers, governance leads, advisory roles. These professionals don't translate technical risk into business language. They help organizations make decisions about risks. They shape policy, they brief executives, they define programs. Level 3 is where the salaries double. It is where job titles start opening doors instead of limiting them. And it is where the career runway gets very long. Now, most people assume that getting from level 1 to level 3 is a long linear climb. More experience, more certs, more time. Eventually you get there. That is not how it actually works. Here's what's actually keeping people at level 1. I call them the 3 misalignments. The GRC career field has 3 distinct lanes: governance, risk, and compliance. They require different skills, attract different personality types, and lead to different senior roles. Most people have never explicitly chosen a lane. They took whatever job was available, drifted toward whatever felt familiar, and now have a resume that doesn't tell a clear story about any single lane. They're not positioned as strong candidates for the roles that match their actual strengths. This is the big one. Every time you write a report in technical language, vulnerability found, severity rating, remediation recommended, you are speaking to an audience of level 1 peers. Leadership reads that and sees cost, complexity, and confusion. The exact same finding written in risk language. This control gap creates a realistic likelihood of X with a potential business impact of Y. And here's how we mitigate that. Lands completely different. It makes you sound like someone who understands the business because you do. You just weren't translating. Most technically strong professionals are invisible to the people who make promotion decisions, not because they're not doing good work, but because good work at level 1 is expected. It doesn't get talked about in leadership meetings. Strategic visibility means getting your work in front of decision makers in a way that connects to what they care about: risk reduction, regulatory posture, operational resilience. Most people have no system for this. They do good work and hope someone notices. These three misalignments, wrong lane, wrong language, wrong visibility, are why smart, capable, hardworking people stay at entry level. It is not a skills problem. It's an alignment problem. Here's the good news. All three of these are fixable, and none of them require you to go back to school, get a new certification, or start over from scratch. The lane question is a clarity problem. Once you understand what the three GRC lanes actually are, what governance versus risk versus compliance actually look like in practice, most people already know which one fits how their brain works. It takes about 15 minutes to figure out. The language problem is a translation problem. I have a simple framework for rewriting anything in risk language. I'll do a full video on it in week 5. And once you understand the pattern, you can apply it to every piece of communication you write. The visibility problem is a positioning problem. There are specific, not complicated ways to get in front of the right people with the right message. I put together a free resource that helps you apply this immediately. It's called the 5-Minute GRC Resume Rewrite. It is a short guide that shows you exactly how to take what is already on your resume and reframe it in risk language, the language that gets you noticed by GRC hiring managers. When you grab it, you also get the GRC career map, the single-page visual that shows you all three career lanes, the roles at each level, the salary ranges, and the first move in each lane. The link is in the description. It is free, no pitch, just tools. If you are in cybersecurity or IT and you feel like you're doing good work but not going anywhere, you're not behind, you're misaligned. And there is a big difference. I'll see you in the next one.